Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Anil Joshi. Welcome you to my series Iconology and Temple Architecture Perspectives. In the contest, we are going to see today a lecture over types of Hindu temple architectures. Now, this is a vast topic, so it is divided into multiple parts. In each part, we see some of the architectural styles of North India, South India, mixtures of them, or some innovatives. So let's get going in the details of the topic, that is Hindu temple architecture. Now we have seen that a lot of temples are constructed over 200 years, 300 years. However, there is a homogeneity in it. Now how it can happen is only when there is some basic which is followed by all the people, all the dynasties. It has also happened that the different Hindu dynasties have taken over some part of the other dynasties also. They have also completed temples in that region, and that is why the glorious things, because they need years together, 200 years, 300 years, they take some time, or they take some time, 50 years, 60 years also. But in that, they have developed their styles in such a way that we really appreciate them. The Sanskrit manuals narrating temple architecture were not rigid. That is the reason why we get so many architectural patterns. Rather, Sanskrit architecture has given guidelines based on the science. There is a fixed science on which the guidelines are given. The architect and artist were given room for their innovations and novelty. That's why not two temples are same. Each and every temple has got some uniqueness, some speciality, and this is the reason that they were given liberty. Now, who were the temple makers? A chief architect was called Sutradhar. The sculptor was called Shilpin. The construction superintendent, as a site supervisor nowadays, was also there. He was supervising the site, and he was a mediator between a king and the workers. All these together were called a guide or a shrinee. So that was the name given to this group. And the temples were either of Nagra, that is Nagra style, which has come from North India, a Dravidian style, which was of South India, and the combinations of them which were made by Chalukyans, called Chalukyan styles or Vaisrara. Which were reference books? Of course, there has to be. That is the Shilpa Shastram, Vastu Shastram, then Samarangana Sutradhara Vastu Shastra. So these were reference books. But not only these, there are a lot of books on the Vastu Shastra also on temple architecture. So all were referred and all were implemented. There are some laboratories also which were seen in Pattadkal. So that is called a laboratory because we have seen lot of experimentation, lot of different temples here. Now the architectural component of the temple, what are they? Which are must. One is Gopuram. So Gopuram was introduced by Vijayanagara dynasty. So it has come a bit late. Earlier temples may have it or may not have it. North Indian temple doesn't have them, while South Indian temple has them. Mandapam is a part of development. So later development, the Mandapam are there. Garbhagriha has to be there. The reason is the deity is here. Now this Garbhagriha subsequently were having a superstructure over it, and that is called as Vimana in South India and Shikhara in South India, North India. We are going to see them, how they differentiate, how they classify, or how they help to style a temple. The Antarara is a vestibule between Garbhagriha and Mandapam. Then there are different rathas. We are going to know what are these rathas, Pancharatha, Triratha, etc. Then Shikharam or Vimana, Gopuram are the structures above the temples. And there is also Kalasha, which is top on the Shikhara in North Indian, because they have got here holy water in it. Usually Ganga water is there. This temple may have many of them. I given you some list of components. A temple may have many of them, or it not necessarily it will have all of them. So few of them were there. Few of them has come in a temple architectural development. We are going to see it. The Hindu temple consisting of inner sanctum. That's the basic, because deity resides here. That is called as Garbhagriha, or a womb chamber where the primary idol or deity is housed. Then is the crown of a Garbhagriha, which is a tower like, called Shikhara, Vimana, and there are also superstructures over them. Either it can be Amarlakha or Kalasha, which we are going to see. There has to be a circumambulatory path, because people has to take parikrama, that is a round around the Garbhagriha, which may be open or which may be semi-open or closed one. All the varieties are there. A hall and sometimes an antechamber and a porch is called as Antanala, is a space or a vestibule between Garbhagriha and Mandapam. Mandapam were added later. Earlier temple did not have it. We have seen it in development of temples. It's a hall or pillared public place meant for function like marriages, social gatherings, then some ritual purposes like puja, yajnas, and sometimes people can wait there for the queue, or they can spend some time in the temple to get the peace of mind. Then this can have many varieties. Once we go to the temple, we can see a lot of type of temple. Kalyana Mandapa was introduced by Vijayanagara dynasty, and it's a place for marriage. Then what was the special of it? They think the marriage of God has taken place. So if a younger pair who want to get married here, if they get married in the Kalyan Mandapam, they will have long married life. Then that can be Nandi Mandapam, where Lord Nandiji sits. It can be semi-open, or it can be enclosed in the main temple also. Then there can be Ranga Mandapa, which is a large and open to sky, and usually it is meant for the public functions like dances, then musics and dramas. So this was a part of socialization which was taking place. Parikrama Marg, as we told, that is circumambulatory path. You can see here in the picture, it is rotating around the temple. Then you can also see the remaining part of the temple here. Then Parikrama is a corridor around the Garbhagriha called Pradakshina Marg or Pradakshina Patha. Then Parikrama is always clockwise and in odd numbers like 1, 3, 21, etc. So that is about Parikrama, which can be incorporated, which can be semi-open, or which can be outside. The main Shikhara geometry, that is very, very important. Though it is square, it is made up of multiple rectangles, or they are also called as padas. Then padas are the stages. Together it is seen in majority of the temple. So a important component. There are exceptions like where rectangles of the harmonic ratios are used, like 1:3, 3:5, etc. These harmonic ratios are maintained in, that is, Narsen Mandir, Madhya Pradesh, or Nakti Mata Mandir, Jaipur. In some temples it is used. Now look, if we see from the top how the main Shikhar geometry looks like, and how they have made from a circle of many, there are many spikes. How it is created, I have given you a diagrammatic presentation. Then what is the geometry behind subsidiary shrines of the Shikhara? Look at this. There is a plane of subsidiary shrines of the, this example I am giving you is a Brahmeshwari temple of Bhuvaneshwar. Look at the symmetry. Now depending on these projection or rathas, Shikhara is called as, there are different types in it. 3 ratha, where there are 3 rathas. Then it can be Pancha ratha, where then again 5. It can be Sapta ratha, when there can be 7. Or it can be a Navaratna. Look at this, how it should look. The first one is the Tirtha, that is 3 ratha. Second is Pancharatha, and then comes the Saptapatha. So these are the rathas, that is the angles which we are seeing. Here we are showing you Pancharatha top view. This is first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, and this is fifth. This is a plan of the subsidiary shrines. This we are showing you is a top view of Pancharatha type of shikharas. Now, the first dark brown square is designed of the Garbhagriha, as you know it from the shape itself. The next, how is a rectangle created from this square that I have shown you. Now, from center angle, bisects are created where it touches the lighter circles, and that's how it is created. Now, to understand how the rectangles are created, you have to observe two circles, a larger outer and a smaller inner one. Like that too you have to observe. Now, there are multiple bisectors from the center on either side. This has to touch the inner or the outer circles. This is how a shikhar of Pancharatha is created. Now again we are continuing with the shikharas and vimanas. Now this is a shikhara I am showing you. Why it is shikhara? It is North Indian type, more seen in Nagra, and look at the shape of it. It is not stepped like vimana. It's something like a earthen pot we can see. Now let's see more in detail what is the difference between shikhara and vimana. It is called shikhara in Nagra and vimana in Dravidian. This side is the shikhara, that is Nagra, and this side is the vimana, that is the Dravidian style, South Indian. Now Nagra style shikhara is curved. You can see the curves here. These are the curves. Yes, right. These are the curves you are seeing. And then you can see also a step or pyramidal shape in Dravidian style. The disc-shaped structure of the shikhara is called amalakha. This is the disc. I have shown you separately also. This disc is called as the amalakha. It is a symbolization, or it looks like a lotus or Surya from the upside, that is from the heaven. If you look, it will look like that, either like a lotus or like a Surya. Now you can see here a Nagara typical style, multiple shrines, sub-shrines are there. So this is a typical example. Here also Nagara style, typical, two different I am showing you to get you a proper idea of the Nagara style. Now what is Urushringa? Urushringa are the multiple subsidiary shikharas. Here you are showing first diagram. Here I am showing you how a classically Urushringa looks like, and these two are from the temples of Rajasthan, Udaipur. They are also showing you Urushringas. So they are the North Indian style typical, and here you are seeing curvilinear shape, multiple sub-shrines, and shape like a Nagra. Now what is the Vimana? We have seen now. First we have seen is the Shikhara that is seen in North India, and now we are showing Vimana. The Viman refers to a dome-like structure above the Garbhagriha. It is more common in South Indian temple. It is one of the important characteristic of a temple of the South Indian type, Dravidian type. The Vimana of the famous temples are like different type of Vimanas, different shape can be there, and in depending on that they can have name like Punyakoti Vimana. Now that is the Thirukanchi. Then you can see Anandanilaya Vimana. You can also see Sara Vimana. These are types of Vimana which you can see in North, South Indian temples. Now these temples too I am showing you. The left side, this I am showing you the marker, is Upper Shivalaya, the first Dravidian temple built by the Chalukyas near Badami at Badami Fort. And second you are seeing is the peak of the Chalukyan architecture, but the earlier temples they constructed were also of the Dravidian style. So here you are seeing, look at the Vimanas, typical Vimanas both. They are Dravidian, they are South Indian style, and they are step pyramidal style. Earliest you can see in either Mahakuta and following that in the Badami fort. Now let's come to Antarala. Antarala, I told you, Antarala is a short antechamber or vestibule between the Garbhagriha and a mandapa. It is more common in North Indian temples. So, though earlier introduced in North India, they are also subsequently taken by the South Indian people, and here also you will find them. Antarala, see here, this was the beginning which was made at Patarkal, and from here it's spread everywhere. Now in addition to that, a Vimana can have Sukha, Nasa. Sukha is a parrot, Nasa is a nose. What is a parrot nose? Here you are seeing in front of the Shikhara is a structure which is projecting over the Antarala. Now Sukha Nasa meaning nose or beak of a parrot seen in South Indian temple. It could be a window. It could be a figure of lion. It could be a small deity whose temple it is, or it can be just a decorations. So all these things are possible. This is a typical temple plan I am showing you, in which I will show you all the components of temple. Now you can see here Ardha Mandapa, that is number one, beginning Ardha Mandapa, then Maha Mandapa, Antarala, and last is Garbhagriha. Then is a Parakshara Marga or Parikrama Marga. Then comes the Jagati, is a raised platform which is seen in North Indian temple but subsequently taken by the South Indian temple also. So Jagati you will find in both type of temples. Let us proceed. Now, what are the types of Hindu temple architecture? First we'll see main, and then we'll see the subsequent. Dravidian style. First is Dravidian style, then is the Nagra. We have seen already two major types. Then Bhumija are the variants. Now we are seeing variants. Then is a Vaisara, combination of Dravidian and Nagara made by the Chalukyas. Then Vijayanagara. Then Gadag. Hemar Panthi started from Deccan region like Maharashtra and then spread over. That we are going to see. Hoysala, yes, it's one of a very important landmark where we found the best designing, best sculptures, best architectural patterns in Ballur or Haibidda, and then Pampasana are the variants. Then Rashtrakuta, though they have constructed 38 or 40 temples which are surviving today, they are less in number and they had more of a dominance of Dravidian style. Now look at this. First we'll come to the Dravidian style of temples. Now first, this differentiation as far as Nagara and Dravidian style is concerned. Let's follow the pointer. Now here we are seeing is Antarala. See, it is curvilinear. There is Amalakha on the top. Then you can see Garbhagriha. Then there is a plinth, that is the raised plinth. Here there is no raised plinth. Here is a Jagati, that is the plinth raised. Then Gopuram is seen, which is not here. Then also there are Pushkaranis, that is the wells which are seen in Dravidian style of temples, which are not seen in North Indian type. Then there are Gopuram also. All these things you are seeing here, different. Look at the Shikhara, different. Mandapas, here Mandapas are flat, here Mandapas are not flat. Here there are Pushkaranis, here there are no Pushkaranis, here there is a plinth, here there is no plinth. So there are a lot of differences between Dravidian style and Nagara style. What is the combination called? Vaisara. That also we are going to see subsequently. Now we are in the Dravidian style. We have seen just now the hallmarks. Unlike the Nagara, Dravidian temple are enclosed in a compound wall. The front or the entrance of the gateway is called as a Gopuram. It's sometimes 3-storied, 4-storied, 5-storied, 7-storied. Tall Gopurams can be seen, which can be taller than the main temple. Then the shape of the main temple tower is called Vimana, which started from the Tamil Nadu and subsequently spread all over. Then it is a staple pyramidal structure that rises geometrically rather than curving like a Nagara style. It is commonly found near a large water reservoir, or it can have a pushkarani around. Many of the Lakkundi temple you will found on the sides of the larger reservoirs. But sometimes if they are not, then they have created their own water sources. Idgi is one of the example where it is around this water reservoir. Again in Lakkundi I told you, again they are around the side of a large water reservoirs. Then even if you see the remaining temple also, at most of the temples you will find the same pattern. Then subsidiary shrines are rather incorporated within the main temple tower and not located separately like Nagara style. They are not separate and they are not on a separate mandapam also. So whatever you are seeing are only over the Garbhagriha. Then furthermore, let's continue. Temple become richer as the days went. Temple become richer and they become an administrative center. They started acquiring large lands. Then they were an administrative center. They were a military base. They were a social center. They were a marketplaces. All these things we have seen when we are seeing different videos. Vijayanagara, how it was a supermarket. Vijayanagara again, where the courts were there governed by the temples. Most of the temple we have seen Gurukulas which were taking care of the education. So also a market, resolving the dispute, everything was done by the temple administration only. Like any of the temple architecture, there are many subdivisions of the Nagara and also Dravida style of temple architecture. Now let's see first the subdivisions of the Dravidian style. These are basically 5 different types. A square, that is called as Kuta, and also Chatusara. Second is rectangular, all called Shala or Ayatasara. Ayat is the rectangle. Then elliptical, also called as Gaja Prishtha. Gaja is the elephant, Prishtha is the back. So they were looking like a Gaja Prishtha. Then they were also like a wagon vaulted shapes of chaityas. Then circular like Vritta. Vritta is a circular, or octagonal like Ashtasara. Ashta is 8. So they can be of different shapes. Now Antarala is seen in Dravidian style subsequently or little late after they were seen in Mahakutas. Then Antarala is a short chamber, antique chamber between the Garbhagriha and the Mandapas, which again was taken up by the North Indian temples, adapted by South Indian temple, well seen in all Visara type of temples and onwards. Then Antarala frequently is observed in Dravidian style temples where the Vimanas and the Mandapas are linked by the Antarala. Now let's see the live examples. These are the temples of Patarkal. This is the Sangameshwar temple, typical Dravidian style. Look at the Shikhara and you will say, yes, it is the Dravidian style. You will see two Dravidian type of best temples in Patarkal and many visceral styles. Here what you are seeing is Dravidian and visceral. Now behind you are seeing is a Dravidian style temple. Here I want you to appreciate Sukha Nasi. This is Shuka is a parrot, Nasi is a nose. This is a projection coming from the Shikhara. Look at this. Here again a typical Dravidian temple. This I told you is one of the initial temples. This is upper Shivalaya of the Badami fort, if you want to be more precise. This is a lower Shivalaya. Again, it was a Dravidian style. Nowadays, it is in partially ruined stage, but still you can make out that it was a Dravidian style. Here also you are seeing same upper Shivalaya from lower Shivalaya. Now, this is how the upper Shivalaya looks like. Behind is the Sangameshwar temple. Front was the mixture type. This is again a Sangameshwar temple, Pattadakal. It's a very classical Dravidian style and one of the best temple in Dravidian style surviving today. Not much damage. It has survived in spite of almost 800 years or more than that. This is different angles. We are showing you same temple but in more detail so that you can appreciate each and every corner of a Dravidian style temple. Now let's come to the further variety that is called as Nagra. Nagra and Bhumija. Both styles we are going to consider in this one after another. First we'll see Nagra. Once we complete Nagra, we'll start Bhumish type. So two groups we have taken here. Now Nagra architecture from 5th century onwards, a distinct form of temple construction known as the Nagara style of architecture emerged in North India. Even within the Nagara school, numerous sub-schools arose in the countries, particularly from Western and Middle Eastern region, and they spread all over. The temples were primarily built in a Panchayatan, that is 5 shrines. One central, that is main deity, and 4 minor shrines around it. Panchayatan, the crucify ground plan with relation to the main shrines. Now here we are seeing just now, here we are seeing it for the Nagara style plinth. Then you can see the Vimana in South Indian, then you can see Amalakha, then Shikhara in North Indian style. So also different type of mandapas. This diagram we are shown again because we are going to see this pattern now. Earlier we have seen was a Dravidian style. The Nagara style of the temple, common in North India. They started it. They are on the raised platform, that is Jagati. Then there is another unique characteristic feature, does not usually have elaborated boundary walls. So compound are not there, Gopuram is not there, gateway is not there, and Garbhagriha is always located directly under the tallest tower, because you will find here a lot of towers. The towers also subside, small towers also. So below main tower you will find the Garbhagriha. The Amalakha you will find, or Kalasha. Kalasha is usually filled with holy water, that is usually Ganga water, and Amalakha is the shape, circular shape, which looks from the sky either as a lotus or as the sun. So they symbolizes them, or they symbolizes the seat of a deity. Look at how it looks. Amalakha in Nagara style looks like this. These both are taken from the Pattadakal. One is from the Durga Mata temple and another is the surrounding temples. Now Amalakha is a segment or the notched stone disc, usually with ridges on the rim. Ridges can be there or ridges may not be there. It depends on the type of temple architecture, but most of the time they are there. Sometimes they are not there. According to some interpretations, the Amalakha represent lotus and thus a symbolic seat for the deity below. Amalakha or the Kalasha, which is installed on the Shikhara, is another characteristic of the Nagara style of temples. Then Antarala seen in the Dravidian style? Yes, it can be seen. When onward? Mahakuta onward. Experimentation was in Pattadakal. Then Antarala is a short antique chamber fire between the Garbhagriha and the Mandapa, which is more common in the northern Indian temples. Then Antarala are frequently observed in Dravidian style, where the Vimana and the Mandapas are linked by them. and that is more important. Now let's come to the another variety, which is called Lekha Prasad or Latina. Latina is a shikhar shape. So let's come to it. These temples are characterized by a simple shikharas. So we are now in the topic Rekha Prasada or Latina. And it has got a square base, then curling walls that has a pointed top, then early medieval temples such as Sun Temple of Makharana in Madhya Pradesh has all these features, and Sri Jagannatha Temple of Odisha you will find also in a Rekha Prasada style. The shikharas are very characteristic and we are going to see it now. These are from Pattadakal. Pattadakal, the best part is you can see all the three type of temples in one standing position. You can see Nagara, you can see Dravidian, you can see Vaisra. All temples are seen from one place. That's the best part of it. Here we are, subdivisions of Nagara. Nagara also can have Sukanasi. Here we are seeing it. That is a parrot nose. Then let's come to another variety, that is Bhumij. What is a Bhumij variety? Is another type of Nagara. It's a type of Nagara style. It is subtype of Nagara that evolved from the Latina style. Latina is something different. Rekha Prasada we are seeing just now. Now we are at Bhumija. The Bhumija architecture developed in Malwa under the Parmara dynasty. These temples have a flat upward tapering projection comprising of a central Latina and a sphere and miniature spheres with quadrant formed by the tapering towers. These mini shikharas curved out both horizontally as well as vertically. In both directions you can see them. Now we'll see the patterns. This is near Kolhapur, Kopeshwar Temple, Khidrapur. You can see beautiful Bhumish variety. Shikhara is very characteristic. Let's go next. Same temple from different angles. We are seeing from same temple from different angles. This is a Khidrapur. The name of the god is Kopeshwar. It is a combination of Shiva and Vishnu temple. Now this temple is from the Hassan. Look at the style, more or looks same. You will find lots of resemblance between this temple and the Khidrapur temple. Here you can see Antarala. Yes, if you can see Antarala, you can see Nandiji also. Instead of Nandi Mandapam, they are sitting over the Antarala. That is also sometimes found in some of the temples. More temples you will find also in Lakkundi, in Dravidian style. When they developed a Gadag school of thought or school of temple architecture, there the Nandiji was mounted on the top in many of the temples. This again Hassan. This is Ishwara temple, Shiva temple. Now we are coming to Western Chalukyas, that is Gadag style, and this is the best temple they constructed next to Idgi and Dambal. This is the Dambal Shiva temple, and it is one of a marvelous temple constructed by Western Chalukyas or Chalukyas of Gadag. Look at the beauty, look at the sculptures. You can keep on appreciating beauty, and a lot of reconstruction work is going on. With that, we have come to the basic style of temple architecture. We are going to see many more in subsequent lecture. There are different lectures available. Links are also available. Do visit our channel for extensive classified lectures. So also our YouTube channel, Facebook and Insta. Everywhere we are here to give you different type of temple specialities, different architecture, and in which way one temple differ from other. We are going to get all this information in our different lecture. Till then, subscribe us. Take care and goodbye. See you in next lecture very shortly.